Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results and Superstar spoilers for this week. As usual, happy birthdays. Start off with October 14th. Jack Lanza turned 81 years old. Nikolai Volkov, a.k.a. Joseph Nikolai Perozovic, turned 69 years old. Dan Spivey turned 64 years old. Stacy Keebler turned 37. Lou Albano died on October 14, 2009 at the age of 76. October 15th birthday, Joey Abs. He was born in 1971. October 16th, Just Incredible. Happy birthday. October 17th, Steve Mongo McMichael from WCW turned 59 years old. There's other results that said that Just Incredible, a.k.a. PJ Polacco, turned 43 on the 17th. But it was actual the 16th. Late Rick Wilson, who worked as Renegade, was born October 16, 1965, and took his own life at the age of 33 on February 23, 1999. Late Al Green, real name of Alfred DeBallo, was born October 15, 1955, died on June 14, 2013 at the age of 57. Takeshi Morishima turned 38 on Saturday. Jeff Gaylord turned 58 on Saturday. He was World Class Champions of Wrestling fame. WWE is running tonight's Raw and Tuesday SmackDown taping at Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. The company now announced dark main event for Raw, at least, as a double main event. Which has Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the U.S. Championship, and Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. They advertised a SmackDown dark main event as Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose tag teaming against AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. Well, Bubba Ray Dudley continues to tease the internet world that he will be back in WWE TV in the near future. He tweeted the following in response to a fan who asked if we will ever see the Bully Ray persona on WWE TV, teasing a 2017 Royal Rumble appearance from the Alamo Dome in Texas. At Bully Ray 5150 tweeted to Kung Mungen, remember the Alamo. At WWE breaking news, Mickie James will take on at WWE Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Mickie James comment on Twitter, PS at WWE at WWE Asuka at WWE NXT. Guess who's back? See you in Toronto. Hashtag I'm coming home. Not full time yet for WWE NXT though. There's Tommy Dreamer. Commented on Twitter, who knew it? Mickie James was a Canadian drawn at House of Hardcore did. And she's scheduled for that event December 3rd from Waukesha, Wisconsin. You can go to that to see proof at houseofhardcore.net. I think I even got a picture of it. Of her there for you. Her with Tommy Dreamer. Paige has been replaced in the Raw opening video by WWE Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins, as you can see here in this link. 10 things you didn't know about Alexa Bliss at this link. Well, here's some news on TNA pulling theme songs for Mike Bennett and DJ Z from last week's Impact. Two sources claim that the issue was related to a pay issue for the proper rights, with the story being that Billy Corrigan told Pop TV about the potential issue and that TNA had to spend some extra hours on the episode to get it to a point that it could air. There being said that some grumblings among the production team about Corrigan because of the extra work, as noted Previously, Dale Oliver is the creator of the songs. Serge Salinas, Dixie Carter's husband, oversees TNA's musical rights. Original on the episode of last week's TNA Wrestling theme music used for Mike Bennett and DJ Zema were both pulled from the show. Both songs were written by Dale Oliver. TNA did not replace either song with different music. They just did crowd noise to cover up the music. According to ProWrestling.net, there were rumors earlier that Pop may not air the show due to the music licensing issues. This led to speculation that there were issues regarding music written by Billy Corrigan, following reports that Corrigan filed a lawsuit against TNA. The site notes that Corrigan's TNA theme song aired as usual, so there do not appear to be any issues with TNA having rights to music that he has written or supplied to the company. Oliver wrote both themes. They are newer songs. It appears that there are now licensing issues with Oliver's 2016 theme song. While not confirmed, this could be an issue where Oliver is owed money. Also, a lawsuit filed against the company from Audience of One Productions, who are seeking $223,000 plus interest and post-judgment costs. They filed suit against Impact Ventures, LLC, TNA minority owner, Arlux, LLC, that's owned by the Harris brothers, Dean Broadhead, and Ronald Harris, for breach of contract, fraudulent inducement on the behalf of Harris and Broadhead, torturous interference on behalf of Arlux, and for violating Virginia codes. Confirmed that there was talk among some at the most recent TV tapings. They would file for breach of contract if their pay was late. It remains to be seen if that will happen, and TNA usually pays talent 2 weeks after they appear on TV. Original notes that according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, there is more possible bad news for TNA. This weekend is a pay week for TNA talent, and while TNA received funding before Bound for Glory for the uplink and production of the pay-per-view and subsequent TV tapings, there is a concern on whether or not the company has the funds to pay talent through the end of the year. TNA has international TV money, UK and India, coming out at the beginning of 2017, but they have to make it there. As for now, they've only done to the December 8th episode of the tapings anyways. Meltzer noted that not paying the talent would be breach of contract, and added that he knows of a couple of guys that are ready to walk and declare themselves free agents next week if they don't get paid. Weren't kidding when we told people to buckle up, because it's already a pretty rough ride. PW Insider reported that in addition to the lawsuit just filed by Billy Corrigan, TNA's former production company is suing as well. The site that reports that Audience of One Productions filed suit. Already gave that info. According to the lawsuit, AO1 entered into discussions with TNA in 2015 about potential long-term agreement with AO1 would provide production working, including audio, visual, and broadcasting, work, lighting, set construction, and breakdown, as well as retention and payment of audience wranglers, personnel who would patrol the crowd and try to engage audience members with the event. Among other things, the suit says that before that point, the Harris brothers were overseeing production and were not providing sufficiently high-quality production work to TNA despite their industry experience. AO1 began working with TNA on the Universal Studios tapings, and per the suit, Broadhead and Ron Harris consistently represented to AO1 that those two events were the first of many, and that TNA and AO1 were on the verge of a long and fruitful relationship. They produced Bound for Glory for the company and billed them in October $223,000 for their services rendered. Month after, Broadhead emailed them saying that TNA was at work to finalize a new broadcast deal that would put them in 80 million homes, and said, "We are planning to go back into Universal Studios in 2016 and get back on the right track with our production. Please hang in there with us. We come out of these difficult times in much better position as a company and a partner." According to AO1, the email was sent to keep them from pursuing more aggressive collection attempts. AO1 then sent a second invoice in November with a 1.5% late fee, after which Ron Harris asked for an itemized invoice. In January, they lowered the amount owed by $29,000 as Dean Broadhead directly paid some of the independent contractors. AO1 claims that TNA did so in order to make sure those contractors would continue to work for TNA after ties were cut. Broadhead then began talking with them about a payment plan, agreeing that the money would be paid in a monthly installment from March 2016 through August 2016. The suit states, upon information and belief, TNA's financial troubles had become increasingly severe by this time. Yet here again, Broadhead, who would have been intimately familiar with those financial troubles, failed to share any relevant information with AO1, which for its part continued to negotiate in good faith with TNA and Broadhead over repayment terms for the Bound for Glory event. In March, per AO1, Arlux provided some form of financing to TNA, which, upon information and belief, was sufficient to allow TNA to continue operating for the foreseeable future. The financing was secured with a lien on all or nearly all of TNA's assets, including, but not limited to, all accounts receivable, as well as all fixtures, inventory, and equipment. The suit alleges that the financing gave Arlux and the Harris brothers considerable incentive to oversee and coordinate TNA's financial affairs going forward. On March 18th, TNA was supposed to wire the first payment. Broadhead told them that the money couldn't be wired. It was later received by FedEx, and AO1 says, upon information and belief, this failure to make a timely wire transfer to AO1 resulted from intervention by Arlux and or Ron Harris, who at this point had every incentive to disrupt and delay payments to AO1 so that other creditors could be paid sooner. TNA has not responded to invoices regarding money owed to AO1 since then. More TNA following news. The major story in pro wrestling over the past few weeks has been the impending sale of Impact Wrestling, better known as TNA, which reportedly needs to go through soon if the company has any chance of staying in business into 2017. This week's development of TNA President Billy Corgan suing the company, kickstarting a new round of reports about Impact Wrestling's current financial crisis. According to the Dave Meltzer Radio Observer newsletter, TNA is currently $3.4 million in debt. With that money owed to Arlux, the company fronted by the Harris twins, who financed at least one round of TV tapings, MCC Acquisitions, and Anthem Sports, both of which have connections as the money behind Fight Network, and all signs point to one of these companies being the entity that financed the most recent batch of TV tapings. According to Meltzer, TNA has already sold some of its media library to Anthem, and there's no telling how that would affect WWE's efforts to obtain the entire library for the WWE network. So that would also be a breach of contract. Well, if that debt and Corrigan's lawsuit weren't bad enough, David Bixenspan and SE Scoops reported that the state of Tennessee has also filed a lien against TNA due to unpaid taxes, which gives the state the right to seize TNA property if the debt remains unpaid. Adding to TNA's woes are some nebulous music licensing issues, also likely due to money owed, which nearly got Thursday's episode of Impact pulled before airing and future events, but eventually aired with the entrance themes for Mike Bennett and DJ Zima Ion muted. So yeah, things could definitely be better. When asked whether this could be the end for TNA, Meltzer had this to say. At Dave Meltzer, WON on Twitter, the walls are closing in. Too bad. It's been building for years and they never quelled it. That's certainly some very grim language to be using right now, but TNA has been rumored to be at death's door for a handful of years. But things have never been this dire. Make no mistake, TNA is going out of business. Would be very bad for wrestling and for wrestling fans, and particularly for all the employees of Impact Wrestling, who will have one fewer viable place to work if the company does go under. Well, Billy Corgan's spokesperson, Lisa Chrisman, offered her comments to ProWrestling.net regarding the legal action that Corgan is taking against TNA, LLC, Dixie Carter, Serge Salinas, Impact Ventures, LLC, and TNA CFO, Dean Broadhead. As President Billy is looking out for the long-term interests of the company, its employees, its talents, and well as its stakeholders and contractors. Corgan filed a lawsuit on Wednesday in Nashville Chancery Court and was issued a temporary restraining order. A hearing is scheduled for Thursday in Nashville. Chris Jericho has announced on Twitter that his band Fozzy signed a new record deal with Century Media. The band has released 2 previous records through the same label. So, in my view, look for Jericho to leave in 2017. Early 2017. As Fozzy's last record was released in 2014, new record is expected to release in 2017. Proud to announce that they just signed a new record deal with at Century Media. Get ready for it at Fozzy Rock 2017. So, look for that. This concerts will be going back on for 2017 and leaving WWE again. At Yand RDZ19, newsflash, a real Paige asked Viva Del Rio to marry her. It all happened in Puerto Rico. Hashtag WWC Anniversario 43. Hashtag CCC. Hashtag this is my house. Hashtag Paige. Hashtag ADR. Video proposing can be found at this link from the match in Puerto Rico. Also another link as well. Well, one is from the Facebook account. I'll post them both at the same time. Yeah, the British lass who may or may not need neck surgery and who's taking some kind of drug of WWE doesn't approve of, got on her knees and asked her boyfriend, who might not even be legally divorced, and was almost certainly really stabbed by somebody over something a couple weeks ago, to marry her after Alberto's match against Carlito at the WWC Anniversario 43 in Puerto Rico. It happened during a show, so it could be a work. Based on Paige's history of very public professions of eternal love, I think it's legit. The crowd in Puerto Rico definitely was encouraging Alberto to seal the deal, and it looks like he accepted with El Beso. So congratulations to both of them. Emma wrestled at a SmackDown Live house show event. Show you a picture of that. So her return to TV probably this week. WWE has been running video packages promoting the return of Emma with a new name, Emelina, with videos and gimmick, though it's unclear what the gimmick will be beyond she is hot. Said the video packages have been, like she's been claiming, they've been running on Monday Night Raw. Despite that, she returned to active wrestling and at the SmackDown Live event show in Phoenix. It sure looks like she's healthy and ready to go. Like she's been claiming, there's hoping to see a new character get over as well as some believe it could. And it looks like there will be a return for the Boogeyman. As he posted his return. And you can see it at this link, twitter.com/RealBoogie. My guess, and he's returning to WWE. Probably something for the Halloween episode of Monday Night Raw. We'll wait to see. F4W Online reported that Paul Heyman would not appear in Denver tonight for Raw. Previously noted, Raw will feature the long-awaited return of Bill Goldberg, who's scheduled to answer Brock Lesnar's challenge. Apparently plans have since changed as Paul Heyman is in fact backstage in Denver. As noted, Brock Lesnar will return to Raw next week in Minneapolis, as well as Goldberg has been scheduled for a few episodes. On a related note, Emma is backstage at Raw. At least 2 indie promoters trying to book the former superstar, the Boogeyman, like I said earlier, has been told that he is unable to take bookings due to an upcoming WWE return. One promoter was trying to book Boogeyman for December, and the other was inquiring about a January date. It should be noted that the return has not been confirmed, but I'll keep you updated. As he said on basically on Twitter. Thanks to Will Henderson for texting us the following NXT spoilers from Full Sail University, October 19th episode. Show opened up, we'll look back at last week's Samoa Joe Shinsuke Nakamura brawl. Rich Swann and No Way Jose defeated Tony Nese and Drew Gulak in the first round of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Great match. Swann took out Nese with a crazy dive to the floor, and Jose hit his finisher on Gulak for the pin. After the match, Swann and Jose cut a promo saying the authors of pain shouldn't look past them, and led the crowd into a dueling "Can you handle this? No way, Jose" chance. The Glorious Bobby Roode defeated Sean Maluta. Okay match. Roode was way over huge. After the match, Roode cut a promo saying that he and Ty Dillinger have a match at TakeOver in Toronto. The return of Mickie James. Roode run down Ty and claimed that he begged Roode to be his partner. Dillinger run down to attack, and they brawled. Ty clotheslined Roode out of the ring and sent him packing the huge 10 chants from the audience. Backstage promo with Liv Morgan recapping her loss to Billie Kay with Peyton's distraction. Liv then jumped and laid out Billie and Peyton, and they dragged her to the stage and laid her out. Billie and Peyton say they're putting the women on notice and the division belongs to them. Austin Aries and Roderick Strong tag team to defeat Tucker Knight and Otis Bogojevic in the first round Dusty Classic. Surprisingly good for the contrast in styles and weights. Roger got a huge pop for his debut. Team Aries picked up the win when Aries hit the spinning forearm following Strong to hit death by Roderick and a sidekick for the win. Nikki Cross squashed Daniel Camella with Sanity at ringside. Nikki jumped Danielle after the match until Eric Young pulled her away. Nikki slapped EY and goes after Daniel again. They announced the referee has reversed his decision and named Danielle the winner due to excessive violence. NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura was out for a promo. He told Samoa Joe if he wants his title at TakeOver, he will beat him with no mercy. Patrick Clark interrupted to a huge heat. Patrick suggested him versus Nakamura. The Patrick Clark experience. Nakamura killed him. Samoa Joe ran out, but stopped when Nakamura turned around and retreated. Nakamura hit a Kasashi on Patrick while the refs are helping him up. October 26th episode, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano defeated Tian Bing and Ho Ho Hun in the first round Dusty Classic. Ben Wang is now Tian Bing. The Chinese talent made his debut. Bing has potential, but is still learning. Aliyah defeated Billie Kay with Peyton Royce with a roll-up when Liv Morgan attacked Peyton, distracting Billie. Billie and Peyton attacked Liv until Aliyah ran back in, but the heel still leaves them laying. Raw Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi defeated Litz Dorado and Mustafa Ali in the final first round Dusty Classic match. Fantastic match. Ali tapped to the knee bar. TJP and Kota dabbed together. After the match, TJP was announced as the Cruiserweight Champion, but didn't come out with his belt. NXT Women's Champion Asuka defeated Thea Trinidad with a big squash with an armbar. If you didn't know, Thea Trinidad is the girlfriend to Austin Aries. I told you she was coming. I warned you. After the match, William Regal came out and announced that Asuka will face Mickie James at TakeOver. Ty Dillinger defeated Noah Potgis in a quick match with a tiebreaker. After the match, Mike Rome interviews Ty on the ramp, but Bobby Roode jumped him and said it hits the glorious drop to Ty on the stage. November 2nd episode taped. Ember Moon defeated Rachel Evers in a quick match with the O-Face. Before DIY versus the Revival started, Scott Dawson came out on crutches and says he suffered a severe knee injury, and if he were a normal jamoke like DIY, he'd be crippled. But since he's who he is, he'll be fine. He wants to compete, but at the advice of his doctors, they're pulling out of the Dusty Classic. Dash said, since they're saving DIY from embarrassment and giving them a gift to the next round, also Sabine came out before Gargano and Ciampa can leave and attack them. But DIY cleared the ring and Arthur's retreated. The Drifter, Elias Sampson, made his return to Thunderous Heat. He sang a song on stage before his music hits, and he made his way to the ring. Sampson squashed defeated Nathan Cruz in a squash match. Huge heat for the Drifter. November 9th episode, Liv Morgan defeated Peyton Royce with Billie Kay by disqualification when Billie jumped Liv. When Peyton was about to tap out to the front face lock, Aliyah ran down for the save, but she got overpowered. Ember Moon's music hit and made a save. Ember and Liv hit stereo drop kicks to send Peyton and Billie running. Three faces celebrated in the ring. We get a recap of Andrade Cien Almas' heel turn on Cedric Alexander. Andrade is back to the suspenders fedora, but has pyro on the ramp now. Almost defeated Cedric Alexander. Also stiff match. Andrade is a heel. As a heel is so great. As is Cedric as an angry babyface. Andrade targeted Cedric's shoulders all match. Cedric countered the double knees in the corner with a lumbar check. Almost rolled to the ropes and crotched Cedric on the ropes. Andrade did hit the hammerlock. DDT for the win. William Regal was out for the Samoa Joe Shinsuke Nakamura contract signing, and he's brought plenty of security with him. Regal introduced Nakamura, then Joe. Joe walked away and dragged his own table and chairs out and says Regal's security has a bad history with him, so he'll conduct his business from here. He tells Nakamura it must be awful to go from being Japan's biggest export to getting beat down by him. He says he'll give Shinsuke his opportunity for revenge at Toronto. He tells Regal to make himself useful and bring him the contract. Regal begins to speak, but Joe cuts him off and says to bring his ridiculous accent and do what he says. Regal brings him the contract and Joe signs. Joe refuses to hand Regal the contract, instead dropping it in front of him. Shinsuke refuses to sign the contract and lays out the security. Nakamura powerbombs one of the security guards through the table in the ring, then signs the contract. Note, as of now, we're not sure the order of any of this airing. They've just started filming randomly. Sanity defeated Kota Ibushi and TJP in the quarterfinals of the Dusty Classic. Good match. Fulton and Wolf worked over TJP until the hot tag to Ibushi. Ibushi hit the powerbomb, but Eric Young and Nikki distracted the ref. Fulton laid out Ibushi, and then they hit the double team for a clean pin on Ibushi. There was a second report from Winter Park, Florida at Full Sail University, courtesy of In the Building Jacob. One Lorcan pinned Wesley Blake. Rich wanted No Way Jose to beat Drew Gulak and Tony Neeson Dusty Classic first round. Bobby Roode over Sean Maluda. Afterwards, Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger was officially made for TakeOver Toronto. Cut a promo on Ty Dillinger. Dillinger ran out and brawled before Roode took off. Liv Morgan cut a promo as she was jumped by Billie Kay Peyton Royce, who wanted to put all the other NXT women on notice. Austin Aries. Roger Strong defeated Tucker Knight and Otis Budgevic. Danielle Camella technically defeated Nikki Cross with a reverse DQ, reverse decision DQ. Shinsuke Nakamura was out for a promo on Samoa Joe when he was interrupted by Patrick Clark. Quickly disposed of Clark, then Joe came out and avoided hitting the ring and had to stare down with Nakamura at ringside. Gargano and Tommaso beat Ho Ho Hun and Tian Bing in the Dusty Classic. First round, Elia rolled up Billie Kay for the win. Liv Morgan assisted in the win by brawling with Peyton Royce at ringside, distracted Kay. Afterwards, Kay and Royce left Elia and Morgan laying. Cruiserweight champion TJP and Kota Ibushi over Liz Dorado and Mustafa Ali in the Dusty Classic. Asuka defeated Thea Trinidad. Ty Dillinger pinned Noah Potjas. Ember Moon defeated Rachel Evers. Supposed to be Gargano and Ciampa versus Revival in the Dusty Classic second round, but Scott Dawson pretended to have an injury, forfeited on doctor's advice. Then Austin Payne came out and brawled with Gargano and Ciampa before the babyface cleared the ring. Elias Sampson over Nathan Cruz marked the return of the Drifter from his injury. Liv Morgan defeated Peyton Royce by disqualification when Billie Kay interfered. Elias tried to even things up, got a beat down. Finally, Ember Moon hit the ring, took out Billie and Peyton single-handedly. Andre Almas defeated Cedric Alexander. Contract signing for the NXT title match took place. Sanity defeated Kota Ibushi and TJP in a Dusty Classic second round match. Raw pre-show link at this link, and then they take the spoilers for Superstars. Nia Jax defeating Alicia Fox. Darren Young defeated Jinder Mahal. Live from the Pepsi Center in Denver with Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Sexton. And the hype Bill Goldberg's return. We go to the ring. Out comes the Universal Champion Kevin Owens with Chris Jericho. They get a look back from last week. Fan chant for Jericho. Before Owens takes the mic, Owens accused Mick Foley of having a vendetta against him for putting him inside the Hell in a Cell. Jericho says Foley has it out for he and Owens. They talk about last week's loss, and Jericho blames it on the referee. They go on and on and on. Owens mentions the Kevin Owens show, setting up Jericho to say it should be the Chris and Kevin show. Owens suggests that the referee be added to the list, and Jericho adds him. Owens says Seth Rollins' swan song will come at Hell in a Cell. Owens has already replaced him as the man at Hell in a Cell. He will retire Rollins. Music hit, out comes Rollins to a pop. Rollins came out, knocked Owens and Jericho. Rollins got a sparkle crotch chant. I figured, well, on Twitter, you might as well get hashtag sparkle crotch. Owens says Rollins doesn't have any friends because he's not a very good person. They go on and back and forth as Jericho says he can beat Rollins at any time, any place. Rollins suggests that the rematch happen tonight. Fans pop. Rollins wonders what Owens will do. Go to the back so Jericho can prove he can beat Rollins on his own or stay out and be the world's ugliest cheerleader to see Jericho get hit with a pedigree for the third week in a row. Owens says he's staying, but Jericho says he's going to the back. Owens is staying out because of what happened the past few weeks. Jericho knows what has happened, and that's exactly why he's sending Owens to the back. Tension continued between the two, but Jericho says this doesn't change the fact that they are still best friends, that Owens has his back. Owens says he will be in spirit. Be there in spirit. Owens heads to the back momentarily as Rollins enters the ring. Back from a commercial break. Match is underway. Jericho takes control trash talk while beating down Rollins. Fans chant Sparkle Crotch, and Rollins turns it around. Rollins nails a drop kick. Jericho goes under the rope for a breather. Rollins runs around the ring and kicks Jericho in the face. Jericho comes back but drops Rollins' spine over his knee for a 2 count. More back and forth with counters. Rollins makes a comeback and hits Blockbuster from the top rope for a 2 count. Jericho blocks the pedigree attempt and sends Rollins to the floor. Rollins comes back, but Jericho drops him to the floor for a commercial break. More back and forth after the break. Rollins turns around and goes to the top. Owens' music hits as he comes on stage. Jericho rolls to the floor, but Rollins leaps off and nails him on the floor. Crossbody. Rollins brings him back in the ring. Pedigree is blocked. Jericho applies the ball to Jericho, but as Owens is down the ringside and watches. Well, Owens pulls the rope and stops Rollins from grabbing it. Referee sees it, and Owens backs off. Rollins gets the rope and breaks the hold. Rollins rolls a distracted Jericho up, but he kicks out. Pedigree is blocked. Rollins blocks the code breaker and nails Pedigree for the win. After the match, Owens heads up the ramp as Rollins watches. We go to replays. Owens watches from the stage as Rollins hits the corner to celebrate. Coleslaw leads us to a video package on Goldberg. Still to come, Goldberg returns. Also, Lita talks to Charlotte and Sasha Banks about Hell in a Cell back to commercial. Back from the break, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper was showed up ringside. Coleslaw leads us to a sit-down interview with Charlotte and WWE Hall of Famer Lita to discuss Hell in a Cell. Charlotte doesn't have to prepare for the match because she was born ready for moments like this. In regards to Forbes calling her the greatest female WWE superstar, she says it could go as far as being the greatest WWE superstar, male or female. Charlotte goes on talking about Sasha and the match. She says she will be the one to beat at Hell in a Cell. She will be the 3-time champion, but nothing will stop her. Still to come segment, Lita talks to the boss. Golden Truth Mark Henry versus the Shining Stars and Titus O'Neil. We go to ring. Out comes Goldust and R-Truth. Their partner Mark Henry is with them. This match was made after a backstage segment on the pre-show. Something about some fake Rolex watches. Back from the break, Primo and Epico were out. Titus O'Neil's out next, so it's a 6-man match. They go at it. Epico keeps Goldust down as Henry rallies the fans. Goldust comes back and nails his power slam. Truth eventually gets a tag, as does Titus. Truth unloads and hits a heel kick to the face. Truth with a scissor kick and a 2 count as Primo breaks the pin. Goldust takes out Primo. Epico sends Goldust to the floor. Truth nails Epico. Titus grabs Truth, but doesn't see Henry tag himself in. Henry ends up hitting the World Strongest Slam on Titus for the pinfall. We see the Tag Team Champions New Day walking backstage with Day 420 sign, poster boards. Batch commercial, back from the break. And we see Jericho talking backstage with Owen at this link, which describes the tensions continuing as Owen says exactly what Foley wants between them. Jericho almost calls Owen a stupid. Owens cut him off. Owens got upset and says he's not some stupid idiot Jericho can put on the list. They argue until Stephanie McMahon appeared. She says they're doing exactly what they said they wouldn't do. Let Rollins get in their heads. Stephanie brought up the SmackDown Survivor Series challenge and says she needs her 2 generals to be on the same page. Smarter and better than everyone else. So there you go. 2 of your small set up teams for the Survivor Series match. And they mumble words to each other, and that was it. Sheamus versus Big E at this link. Highlights from that. We go to the ring. Out comes Cesaro with Sheamus together. They're arguing as Cesaro is live streaming on Facebook. Yes, he's doing his he's got a cell phone posting on Facebook. WWE Tag Team Champions New Day round next. They toss boxes of bootios to fans in the crowd. Well, this was actually backstage on the way to the ring. Big E says Sheamus must be a mile high if he thinks he will win their match tonight. Xavier says Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton could make more closer knit tag team than Sheamus and Cesaro ever could. Kofi Kingston brings up his springboard slip from last week and says he was still able to beat Cesaro. They go on with more shots before Big E hits the ring. They go at it to start, and Big E drops Sheamus. They lock up. Sheamus nails a big suplex. Sheamus goes on, but Big E drops him with his clothesline. Big E with a big thrust in the corner. Sheamus knocks him down for a forearm. Sheamus keeps control and lands several uppercuts with the referee warning him. Big E dumps Sheamus to the floor. Sheamus falls back to the apron, but goes for a forearm to the chest, but Big E overpowers him. Big E with a clothesline on the apron, then nails a splash on the apron. New Day celebrates as we get a replay. Cesaro gets close to the action with his phone. Sheamus and Big E both go down at ringside as we go to commercial. Back from a break. The match is still going on. Big E turns around with suplexes. He goes for the splash, but Sheamus gets his knees up. Sheamus with a 2 count. Sheamus hits the Irish curse backbreaker for a 2 count. Big E catches Sheamus in the powerbomb for a close 2 count. Sheamus ends up breaking the face for a close pin attempt. Sheamus gets a shot on Kofi on his stream. He also goes into the crowd with Cesaro section as Sheamus hits the forearms on Big E. Sheamus knocks Big E off the apron into the barrier. Sheamus follows and argues with Cesaro about his streaming. Sheamus rolls Big E in the ring and goes back over to Cesaro. He snatches the phone and yells at Cesaro's viewers. Cesaro comes over the barrier to get his phone back, and they argue on the steel steps. Sheamus enters the ring, and Big E splashes him for the win. After the match, Cesaro films Sheamus while he's shocked about the loss. Sheamus knocks the phone out of his hand, and we go to replays, courtesy of Facebook. Coleslaw leads us to another video of Goldberg. This one showing his July 1998 match against Hollywood Hogan. Bo Dallas versus Neville at this link. Back for the break, Bo Dallas is in the ring with Curtis Axel. This match was made after Axel, who still believes in Bo, asked Mick Foley to make it. We see a segment between Axel and Bo on the Raw pre-show. Axel says he's the biggest Bo lever. Neville was out next. They go at it start. Bo takes Neville to the corner and beats him down as the referee warns him. Bo keeps control and mocks the fans. He drops Neville with an elbow as Axel yells about Bo leaving him at ringside. Bo keeps control and plays to the crowd, but they boo him. Neville comes back and kicks and drops Bo to his knees. Bo dodges the drop kick and gets dropped with an enziguri. Neville goes to the top for the red arrow, but Bo rolls to the floor. Neville goes to the apron and hits a moonsault. Neville brings Bo back in and runs into an elbow, then a boot. Neville goes to hit to the back to the top, but Bo kicks him from the apron. Bo drops him in the DDT for the win. After the match, Axel runs into the ring and hypes Bo up. Bo attacks him from behind and sends him to the floor. Bo follows and runs over Axel with a clothesline. Bo sends Axel into the apron and then the barrier a few times. Bo leaves Axel laying and grabs his Bo leave and Bo sign before leaving. Till the come segment. Bayley versus Dana Brooke, back to commercial. Well, Dana versus Bayley at this link. Back from the break, out comes Dana Brooke. Bayley was out next to a pop. Dana started the match. Bayley turned around and nails a face buster. Bayley with more offense. She slammed Dana's head into turnbuckles repeatedly. Dana dropped her with a big right hand and launched her into her turnbuckle. Referee checks on Bayley, and Dana kicks her while she's down. Dana talks trash and taunts Bayley. Bayley comes back, but Dana ends up getting the win. Shocking the announcers out of nowhere. Announcers take us live to Paul Heyman at this link. Well, the fans chant for Goldberg during his backstage segment. Heyman says last week's challenge was rhetorical. Heyman says it's obvious Goldberg is coming to say yes tonight. Heyman says Goldberg should think about it. Why didn't Lesnar challenge Goldberg face to face? Icon to icon. Because Lesnar doesn't even think of Goldberg anymore. Goldberg isn't even worth Lesnar's sweat anymore. Heyman says it's his fantasy. It's a video game. He advises Goldberg to just show up and say no tonight. because maybe, just maybe if he says yes, he's going to piss Lesnar off. It already pisses Lesnar off that Goldberg beat him 12 years ago and thinks he can do it again. Heyman gets fans to champ Goldberg again. He says that's going to piss Lesnar off too. Heyman says that Goldberg says yes, he will be beaten, victimized, and conquered. Still to come segment, Lana and Rusev have a message for Roman Reigns back commercial. Handicap match, Braun Strowman versus the Mile High Trio. That's what they're called. Local guys at this link. Back from a commercial break, out comes Braun Strowman. Byron Saxton already in the ring with the Mile High Trio. Group of enhancement jobbers. They get a local pop from the crowd, shouting out Denver, and they seem confident about taking out Braun. He enters the ring, they surround him. Bad idea. Face to face, all three of them at one time. Braun kicked one guy to the mat, sent the other out of the ring, launched the first guy onto the other outside of the floor. Braun goes to the floor and continues to dominate for several minutes before pinning two at once inside the ring. He slammed one, then slammed the other one. Right on top of him, pinfall. After the match, Braun took the mic and says if Foley won't give him competition that he wants, he's coming to get it. Music hits, out comes Sami Zayn to a pop. Sami stares down Braun. As he slowly enters the ring, Braun just shoves him to the mat and walks off as his music replays. As we get a commercial break, Charlie Caruso asks Sami while he's in the ring why he picked a fight with Braun. Well, he says because nobody else will. Sami walks off. We go to the ring. Lana introduces her husband, Rusev. Out he comes to talk about Roman Reigns and Hell in a Cell. He gets a what treatment from the crowd and is frustrated. Lana runs everyone and Reigns down. Rusev starts ripping on Roman's family for being barbaric. He shows us family photo album of the Russos on the big screen, praising each member, which you can see at this link. As we get to interruption from Roman Reigns, he eventually interrupts as he's talking about his dad. He says he does have a big family, but he's not talking about the bloodline. He's talking about the Roman Empire. Roman says Rusev doesn't look like his dad with the sweet mustache. He looks like the family dog. Reigns is in the ring now. Rusev tells Reigns to call the whole family because it doesn't matter as it's just the two of them at Hell in a Cell. Reigns says when he's done, only place Rusev is going to call is 911. Rusev gets angry, but Lana tries to calm him down. Lana approaches Reigns face to face and slaps him in the face. Rusev then super kicked Reigns and sent him to the floor. Rusev charged against the barrier and whipped Reigns into steel steps. Rusev took half the steps and rams them into Reigns' head. Rusev sends Reigns in and brings part of the steps in. Reigns fights back and gets kicked in the face. Rusev sends Reigns into the steps. Rusev places Reigns on the top of the steps and stomps on his back. Rusev applies the accolade on top of the steps and leaves Reigns laying as fans boo. Rusev music hits and he stands tall as we go to replay. Lana and Rusev leave as Reigns tries to recover. Colesall leads us to another video package on Goldberg saying, looking at his WWE debut in 2003 when he was interrupted by The Rock. Back from the break, we get a vignette for Emma's return as Emmalita. The B Club, Bullet Club. Carl Anderson, Big Cass. Carl Anderson versus Big Cass at this link. We go to ring, out comes Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Enzo Amore and Big Cass do their stitch. Anderson charges to start, but Cass quickly responded and unloaded. They go to the floor and Cass took out Anderson. Cass launched Enzo into a Gallows on the floor. Cass came back in, but got caught with a kick to the head. He ends up hitting the East River crossing to quickly putting Anderson away. Winner by match. Big cast. We go backstage to Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. It appears that they have some sort of agreement between the two. TJP walked in and knocked all three. He wonders what Kendrick has promised to give Gulak and Nese if they soften him up before their title match at Hell in a Cell. Back and forth leads to Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander coming in. So we got 6-man action for later. Back from the break, Coleslaw leads us to a sit-down interview with Raw Champion, Women's Champion, Sasha Banks and this link. Sasha talked about how far they've come and says she respects Charlotte, but she's going to show why she's the best at Hell in a Cell. Sasha says Charlotte is good, but she's no Sasha Banks. They go on, and Lita asks if part of Sasha is afraid for the cell. Sasha says it's not fear because she asked for the match, and she doesn't want to say she's afraid because she's watching old cell matches to prepare for the match, but it will be something when she's shut inside a cell. She says she's here to make history at Hell in a Cell. Close all these, it's another Goldberg video package. This time showing his September 2003 match against World Heavyweight Champion Triple H. Still to come, Goldberg returns. Also, 6-man cruiserweight match, but commercial. Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. Back from the break, out comes Brian Kendrick first. Drew Gulak was out next, followed by Tony Nese. Cedric Alexander first for his team, followed by Rich Swann. Raw Cruiserweight Champion Perkins out last for his team. Gulak and Swann start off the match. Gulak takes control first, but Swann turns it around with some good offense. Cedric comes back in. Nese is in for his team. Cedric took control and tags in Perkins. Perkins came over the top and then goes to the corner for a tornado DDT, but Nese countered and slams him for a 2 count. Kendrick tags in, but Perkins catches him in a knee bar. Kendrick makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. Kendrick retreats to the floor for a breather as we've got a commercial. Back from the break, Gulak gets nailed by a kick from Alexander. Kendrick tagged in and stops the tag. Kendrick knocked TJ off the apron. Swann and Nese get tagged in at the same time. Swann unloaded, but runs into a boot. Swann jumped and brought in Nese from the top with a scissor. Swann covered with a 2 count, but Gulak broke out the pinfall. Cedric took out Gulak. Kendrick come back in and closed, but Cedric closed on him to the floor. Cedric also tumbled out. Perkins with a wrecking ball drop kick on Gulak. Swann goes to the top, but Nese got knocked down. Nese with a 450. Kendrick tags in and applied the captain's hook to Swann. Perkins tried to crawl in, but Nese is holding his leg. Swann taps for the win. Winners of the match, Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. After the match, Kendrick, Tony, Perkins. We go backstage to Foley and Stephanie. They talk about 3 traditional elimination matches at Survivor Series. Stephanie wonders what tricks Foley has up his sleeves for next Monday. Foley proposes Jericho versus Owens versus Rollins. Triple threat. Stephanie loves it, loves the idea, and it's on. Back from the break, Michael Cole is in the ring. Interviews Bill Goldberg's recent comments on ESPN SportsCenter. Then last week's comments from Paul Heyman and the challenge to Goldberg for a rematch against Brock Lesnar. Coleslaw makes an introduction. There was a former World Heavyweight Champion walking through backstage as various people stand on the side clapping. Fan chant his name in the arena, including Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. Goldberg hits stage and the crowd goes wild as the power goes off. And sitting beside the governor is Goldberg's family, his son and his wife. Music stops and the fans are chanting Goldberg. Long welcome back continues this is awesome as it's going past the 10 o'clock hour. About 10:04 as the segment started. Goes about 12 minutes. Goldberg says it's been a long time, but the fans didn't forget. Coleslaw brought up the ESPN comments and hands Goldberg the mic. Says the floor is all his. Goldberg says 12 years, never say never. He never thought he would be in this ring ever again. He thanked everyone for the humble return. What makes it so special is that his wife and son are here to see him live for the very first time ever. We see him at ringside with the governor. Goldberg says he received a phone call from WWE and 2K back in January. He got the opportunity to travel around the world and promote the game. It's been 12 years. He misses a lot of things in the business. Things like, besides kicking ass, is being a superhero for kids around the world. Goldberg says, in this day and age, there aren't enough superheroes. Going around the world promoting the game gave him that opportunity. He talks about meeting kids and seeing in their eyes that he was Goldberg. It gave him the chance to be a superhero to kids again. Fans chant for him, and he thanks them. Somewhere along the way, he created a little drama back at WWE, and that made him think long and hard. He thinks that maybe it's better alone. Maybe he keeps it in the video game, but then Brock Lesnar challenged him to a fight, but he didn't have the balls to do it himself. He made his fat little stooge Paul Heyman do it for him. Goldberg says, then thought maybe he has one more ass-kicking left in him, one more badass spear, one more devastating jackhammer. I predicted that he was going to say that anyway. Goldberg says not only does that mean Lesnar is next, most importantly it means Lesnar is last. Lesnar tosses the mic. Goldberg tosses the mic and makes his exit as the music hits and fans chant his name. He greets the fans at ringside, goes on the stage, goes on to his son over the barrier for the celebration. His son goes back over and he continues greeting fans as Goldberg chants continue. Goldberg hits stage and raises his arms before walking to the back. Raw goes off the air, and they had 2 dark matches as they advertised. First was the United States Champion Roman Reigns defeating Rusev. Second match was Seth Rollins and Universal Champion Kevin Owens going at it for a close 20 minutes at this, and you can see at this link here at twitter.com/Dubsco. As Rollins won by disqualification when Chris Jericho interfered to a big pop. Afterwards, Rollins hit a pedigree on Owens to end the show as his music played. I think Jericho came down to interfere as well. Well, that concludes my Raw video for this week and Superstar Spoilers. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I want to be here. If you don't know, just call me, brothers.